like button on the way in here. Make sure you hit the like button and subscribe button. Man, I appreciate y'all. I appreciate y'all. We are here. We're right on here. I was scamming. I said scamming because I was talking about these. I'm about to talk about these scamming ass show I was watching. I was scanning through the internet, and I saw this UK podcast that I've done a breakdown on before, talking about Black Americans again. Like, oh my God, like God damn, leave us the hell alone. But what made it interesting was the title was 77% of Nigerians bleach their skin. In a podcast titled 77% bleach their skin, you would think they would spend more time breaking down the conditions as to why and giving off more solutions. But no, they talked about that for a little while. Then they had to, like always, bring us up. So we're going to talk about that. And then we're going to talk about Roland Martin's little gal. She was his little side piece. I was watching O'Shea Duke Jackson's channel, and he posted pictures of Roland Martin's little side piece. I see he's into big booty midgets. So we're gonna break that down. We're gonna break that down. But in the meantime, what's up, everybody? What's up, chat? What's up, Bossa Queenie? 225 Girls Stay Fly. View Star. Everybody that's in here, I appreciate all y'all for joining. What's up, Dana Dane? What is up, everybody? Oh man, I just got back from New York. I spent damn near a week in New York. And I'm just gonna say this. I am glad to be back home in Los Angeles, California. New York is cool. It was fun, but man, ain't no way in hell I could live in no goddamn New York. No. New York City is fun. It was fun while I was out there. Good people, especially to all my genuine New Yorkers. But nah, it's too inconvenient for me, bro. I got to get in my car. And that traffic, boy, nah. Can't do it. Can't do it. But nonetheless, the people were good. But I did want to say that I said it before. A lot of New Yorkers be short as hell. That's how I see what y'all are saying about New York having a lot of non-black Americans there now. The black people there mostly aren't American. Because them niggas were short as hell. And if you always look at the traditional description of Americans and black Americans, we're generally tall and athletic, looking. I'm 6'2". And when I'm in a room with a bunch of black Americans, I'm never the tallest one in the room, put it like that. I may be in the tallest top third of the room, but never the tallest. Man, I was out there in New York, man. It seemed like everywhere I went. Everybody was down here. I'm like, God damn. So we're going to get through a couple of quick hitting topics in the meantime. In the meantime, hit the Black American Music Family Tree Foundation. Make sure you donate to the cause. Yeah, I was there. Where are my bookmarks? Where the hell are my bookmarks? Come on, Twitter. Y'all trying to change stuff around? No, I don't. No, bookmarks. There we go. We'll get into Roland, but no. Her profile. Here's some. When I was in New York, I did some touristy shit, but Salute to DJ FaZe. Salute to the Bronxdale houses. They know who the GOAT is, Kobe. Or one of the GOATs. My pictures will show it's a little light, but it got really crowded later on. I went to go to see DJ FaZe. And he was throwing a 10th anniversary celebration of Grand Wizard Theodore, and Disco King Mario, and the original founders of hip hop. And I got some interviews from them that I'm putting together an article right now to do an extensive breakdown. I'm about to do an extensive breakdown on the roots of hip hop, New York style. So that breakdown's coming soon, okay? But we had a good time down there. You know what I mean? I didn't post. I thought I posted more pictures than this. I thought I posted more pictures than this. I took a lot of pictures, but I didn't really post many. I see. Let me show you some other pictures I took while I was out there. I did my little touristy thing. Went through Times Square like the tourists. I've always wanted to go to a game in Madison Square Garden. But this is one thing that stood out to me the most. One of the things that stood out to me the most about New York. This huge building with Moynihan's name on it. You know, Moynihan wrote this book right here, The Negro Family. It was a case. It wasn't a book, but it was a report. The Negro Family, the case for national action. And Moynihan, this is where he went ahead and talked about the issues in Black America and how to solve them. And this report was ultimately used to target Black Americans during the war on drugs to further destabilize our economy and us as a people. And I thought it was funny that they had this big ass building across the street from Madison Square Garden. And also what he did a lot back in the 70s and the 80s, 60s and the 70s, you know, in New York to Black residents, the freeways and all that good shit. Yeah, this little Times Square was cool. Times Square was cool. I'll probably never go back. I just wanted to go hang out in Times Square. I'll probably never go back. Spend some time in Harlem. Harlem was beautiful. Sometime in the Bronxdale houses. I went through Queens. All that good shit. Brooklyn. I went through all the boroughs. I went through all the boroughs except for Staten Island. So salute to New York, but ain't no way hell I can live out there. No, it's too inconvenient. The grocery stores, the driving, the parking, and there ain't no way in hell I'm getting on a fucking subway everywhere. I'm from LA. I don't do public transportation, y'all. The only public transportation you're gonna see me on is an airplane. Sometime you're ever gonna see me on public transportation, it's airplanes. I don't do buses. I don't do that. Too inconvenient. I did a subway though for the first time. I did do a subway. And that was fun. Next topic. I did the 8 train. I did the 8 train because I did the 8 train because one of my favorite Count Basie songs, Take the 8 Train. That's one of my favorite songs ever. Is Take the 8 Train by Count Basie. I mean by Duke Ellington. I said Count Basie. By Duke Ellington. And a lot of my swing era jazz talks about the 8 Train. Next topic. Shannon Sharp got mad. Listen to Shannon Sharp's sassy ass talk about his dick sucking.
Shows start seeing numbers they never seen before, and that was happy. They got, hey, we give a little shine. We let the sun shine on them a little bit. But guess what? We come back out shade. Hey. They're down.
Well, not that one. That's not the one I wanted. He's wondering why Ahmad Rashad. He's mad at Jalen Rose. Shannon Sharp. Here it is. He was talking about why he ain't Michael Jordan. And why isn't Ahmad Rashad seen the way that he's seen when it comes to LeBron? Listen to this real quick.
One person. Nobody has had a relationship with a player like Amar Rashad had with Michael Jordan.
Hello.
Michael
Not
Jordan,
one person ever said he glazed.
Yeah.
Not one person ever said he was on the payroll. Not one person. Now,
You sound real mad, Shannon. Let's not rewrite history. Yes, Amar Rashad was Michael Jordan's boy. But the reason why Amar Rashad never got criticized the way you get criticized, Shannon Sharp, because Amar Rashad was objective. Even though, me personally, I was never much of a Jordan fan. But me being somebody who was never a Jordan fan, I never felt that Amar Rashad was cutting other players down to elevate Michael. He always seemed like somebody to me that just like, he was always very open about his friendship with Michael Jordan. But Amar Rashad always showed ultimate respect to every single player. He never disrespected players to elevate Michael Jordan. Shannon Sharp, you disrespect people all the time. So I don't watch your sorry ass show. You always are being very disrespectful of players to elevate your guy. And it's not cool. You should learn from Amar Rashad. You can like who you like, but don't diss nobody else to like what you like. All right, Shannon? The same way you shouldn't diss straight men because you like boys. Allegedly. I'm just playing. I don't know. I'm just playing. Next story. Next story. I don't like the fact that my bookmarks have been moved. Roland Martin. Sassy Martin. Y'all should have known something. Popping it. You ain't never seen James Brown dip down to pop it. This boy popping his dookie shoe. Showing it for the men out there, I guess. So where is it? My shit's all messed up. I thought I had all this stuff lined up. Here it is. This goes salute to O'Shea Duke Jackson. I got these images from his show. This is apparently Roland Martin's side piece. For those of you who don't know, Roland Martin, he said he's being extorted. Those are his words. He says he's being extorted, but he did not deny, according to Tasha K and those people, his involvement with this girl, with this lady. And she do got a fat old ass, but that's a fat midget right there, boy. Roland got himself a little thick short. Is she a midget? Or is she, chat room, is she a midget or is she just really short? Because she borderline midget. Or it could be because of that trunk is so far out, it make her look shorter. You see this? This is the woman that Roland Martin allegedly was sticking fingers up his ass, according to the reports. According to the reports, this is the woman, and I don't want to bust her out, but she's the one that Roland apparently has been getting to do the whoopty wham boomty bamp with. But is she a midget? Oh, she's a dwarf. Somebody said little person. No. A little person is a man that's 5'5". That's a little person. A grown man that's 5'4" is a little person. And a midget is a midget. Let's not confuse the two, okay? Clinton? Brother Clinton? A little person is a grown-ass man that's 5'4". That's a little person. A woman that's 4'11". Word midget, the word dwarf are perfectly fine to use because they're describing, You know, dwarfs are the ones that are just short as hell with regular proportions, and the midgets are the ones that got goddamn a 7-year-old height with a 27-year-old size head. Those are midgets. But yeah, Roland, all that moral authority you've been talking, Roland, and nothing wrong with this. Look, you do what you're gonna do. I'm not mad. I don't judge people for their proclivities. I don't get it. Okay, so she's just head above her. She's shoulder level with the. She's shoulder level with the height plug. Okay. Okay. She's shoulder level with the plug with the wall light. About 6 inches taller than what's on the light switch. You know, hey, so Roland, we see what it is. We see you get your little fun and games on here, huh? He probably saw her and wondered if she could fit her whole body up in his ass. That's what he wanted, allegedly. I don't know. He's ain't trying to have him outside your apartment with tiki torches. Okay, Tasha Peters says that I think she's just short. Her fingers aren't stubby. Good point. Midgets be having little stubby fingers. You're right about that. Midget fingers be looking like this. They be like this big. They're like this big. Like, yeah, you're right about that. Look, I ain't mad. Look, he say he married, but look, Roland Martin like pushing all that, you know, you stupid fools. You stupid fools. You stupid fools. Fools are stupid. You stupid
but
fools.
people like the aunties and certain sisters.
That's them. That's Roland Martin. You stupid fools. All right, let's get to the main topic. Let's get to the main topic. Somebody said, I don't like to walk. Well, you obviously somebody who's new around here. I'll walk from here to your mama's house to get a foot massage right now. I promise you I would. Nigga said, I don't like to walk. I love walking. What are you talking about? Walking is one of my favorite things to do. Every city I go to, I walk. But I will walk to your mama's house for that foot rub. It's going to be all worth it when I get there. Let me tell y'all new people around here something. Your cliche fat jokes don't work on me, all right? I'll probably kick your ass in basketball and outwalk you. I got more energy than you. I get more done than you. All right? I'm cooler than you. I'm funnier than you. So all that cliche fat jokes, try that on somebody else. You got to be funny if you're going to come after me, man. Don't hit me with the cliches. All the niggas I done crossed over on the court, shit, I got a legion of people that'll speak up for me, homeboy. Stop with the cliches. Stop it. As Nigerians will say, stop it. Stop. Stop it right now. Stop it. But I want y'all listening right here. They're getting ready talking about, they're about to talk about 77% of Nigerians are bleaching their skin. I want y'all to listen to this discussion real quick. And then we're going to talk about it, all right?
Godfrey. And I forget the other guy's name. I'm sorry. But anyway, she was on the podcast and she's got a documentary called Skin. It's a Netflix documentary and it deals with colorism and bleaching in Nigeria. And it's not, we talk about colorism, we talk about bleaching in the wider scale, but we don't really hone in and focus on how it affects Africans and African women. And we know it's in abundance. We know it's a conversation that happens in our homes. But the fact that she did a documentary and focused on Africa, and I think she said that, what's the percentage? 77% of Nigerian women are bleaching.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was floored with that number. Like truly, listened to her say it and had my
It's
mouth
probably facts
open.
though. I can agree.
That's-
All
no,
my
I get it.
aunties,
That's
everyone.
what I was thinking afterwards.
Everyone in
I
my
was
family.
like 77%, but if I think of just
Yeah, I saw the dude in the. You saw the dude in the black and the blue said he said all of his aunties were skin bleaching. Let's keep going. Let's listen to this.
my family, there is a section of my family where I don't know their complexion because they've always bleached. So you know when you don't know how dark they were.
She said she did. She said she didn't even her family's skin complexion because they always bleached.
Yeah,
Like, you don't literally know because they're in that ready type of zone, so you don't know. But they've got all the scars.
yeah.
And I don't know if they can even go back to their original complexion anyway because they've been doing it for like 40
For
years.
so long, yeah.
But that's scary, 77%.
It's crazy.
I don't even understand, like, because it feels like bleaching is such an old school thing. I associate it with the 80s and 90s growing up. And we know that it happens. We know that a lot of celebrities in the public eye, they just do this subtle thing. Next minute, you're like, hold on. I swear they were dark skinned. There's a lot of celebrities in the public eye.
Didn't somebody did it recently that we love,
especially
that we love very well.
Especially now, I actually feel like it's had a resurgence. Which it felt like it had stopped for a bit, but because there's new means where it's not creams and you can have
You do washing it.
But it's strips, it's intravenous strips now. So
you can get injected. You can get injected that, innit? I think I saw that one.
Wow.
you get injected.
But the lengths are not be dark. And on the flip side, there is a resurgence of dark skin, especially women, because we'll talk about the men in a second, but usually it affects women in the majority. And because there's been an absence of dark skinned women in the public eye, and there's a few more. You've got the Joey Cheese, you've got the Coco Joneses, you've got, there's more dark skinned girls coming to the forefront. There seems to be a wave of them. So it's interesting that even still, people are still like, do you know what? That's not going to work for me. I need to bleach. And what is that?
Crazy.
And when you think about Africa or back home in the Caribbean, like when you think about places where we are in abundance, that even still, you want to look at each other and just bleach it.
I think like you just have to keep pushing the envelope. Like you talk about that resurgence of like those people you just mentioned, but it's not just going to be overnight. This is something that's been happening for how long? So it's like, and I think the industry as well that's providing these. It's there. It's like $1 billion company. I mean, industry. So it's like, as long as there's supply for that, is more so mental, like is ingrained. So they're gonna keep doing it.
And there's no shaming. I mean, people used to be embarrassed. Now everything's out in the open, more or less. Bleaching out in the open, augmentation, whatever. Everything's out in the open. So there's less shame around it. So
Everything is cool.
In abundance.
I mean, when I was younger, I hated my skin color. I remember I've said this on the pod before. Like, I hated being black. I hated being dark skinned. I remember Michael Jackson being white, and I was like, I want to be white like Michael Jackson. And I used this. What was the cream called? It was in a blue tub, white cream.
This nigga say he wanted to be white like Michael Jackson. Wow.
Fair and white, or what?
Was it Fair and White?
No, not a bleaching cream, just a normal cream.
What, Astral?
Yeah, that's it, Astral. Yeah. I put it all over my body and I thought it was going to make me white. You know what I mean?
Just
just to try to be like Michael Jackson. And I had a particular uncle that would just always say, anytime he see me, like, you're so dark, so ugly. You know what I mean? They'd be like, you're never going to get a woman. Like, you're never going to...
There's a family as well, you know.
Yeah, my uncle, he's still about. Uncle's still about, man. I even pay school fees for his kids now.
What do you mean?
What do you mean?
You're paying school fees? Yeah, he told me about this. I was like, what were you like?
Because I forgave him, but it's like, I hated my skin color so bad.
Was this a dark skin man as well?
Yeah, he's probably just a bit lighter than me. Just a bit lighter than me. But it's only until I went to Uganda, when I got sent back to Uganda, and everyone around me was dark. I felt like, okay, I'm here.
There's more of
I mean? Then I came back, I went to, when I met these guys in school, and this was the time Tyrese and Morris Chestnut were back. You know what I mean? So, dark skin guys are shining now. Sorry.
Listen. As he's talking, all of his influences are black American. He wanted to bleach his skin because Michael Jackson bleached his. Now understanding that he had Michael Jackson had vitiligo. But then he said his heroes for dark skin were Morris Chestnut and Tay Diggs. Listen, because I had it at 1.25 speed. Let me slow it down a little bit. Play it again for you. Listen to that part.
Well, that would just always say, anytime he see me, like, you're so dark, so ugly. You know what I mean? They'd be like, you're never gonna get a woman. Like, you're never gonna.
There's a family as well, you know.
Yeah, my uncle, he's still about. Uncle's still about, man. I even pay school fees for his kids now.
What do you mean?
What do you mean?
You're paying school fees? Yeah, he told me about this. I was like, what were you like?
Because I forgave him, but it's like, I hated my skin color so bad.
Was this a dark skin man as well?
Yeah, he's probably just a bit lighter than me. Just a bit lighter than me. But it's only until I went to Uganda, when I got sent back to Uganda, and everyone around me was dark. I felt like, okay, I'm here.
There's more of it.
Yeah, I mean, then I came back, I went to, when I met these guys in school, and this was the time Tyrese and Morris Chestnut were back. You know what I mean? So, dark skin guys are shining now. Sorry. Yes,
Tyrese and Morris Chestnut. So he got connected to his blackness through Black America. On one hand, he was convinced to get bleached through Michael Jackson. On the other hand, he got comfortable with his blackness through America. Both sides of self-identity came through America, Black America. Mind you, he said he was living in the UK and he was living in Uganda. So this is somebody who didn't even come over to the United States. He was in the UK and he was in Uganda. The UK and Uganda, whether he was in the UK or Uganda, he's looking at Black America. Pay attention.
That's skin color.
I was getting to my bit. Yeah, I know they got no.
No, but I know how it feels to hate your skin color. Like I remember it vividly, and what it took for me was being around other people that looked like me that actually loved themselves. And skin color was never even a conversation when I was in school in Uganda.
What,
you know what I mean?
What about guys for you, like just in general being? Because I guess would you call yourself a light skin?
Yeah, this is a lighty, 100%.
Yellow popo.
So let's talk about that. I'll let this play for a little while. Let's talk about that. I personally think that is very unfortunate. Like we hear about the skin bleaching here in America. Like we hear y'all be having that shit on y'all side of the world. Here you go, Rocky. Rocky. There you go. Right there, right there. Right there. Right there. Hold on one second, Rocky. There you go. All right, sorry about that. I think we hear about the skin bleaching thing, but I did not know. I personally, I thought, maybe some actors skin bleach, some people who want to get into entertainment. I thought like certain fields, certain people may bleach. I had no clue, none, that it was like this. 77%. And then the one guy in the blue said, I thought it was 100% when he's talking about his aunties and his own talking about his own family. Yes, we are different culturally. All of that, we Black Americans have no culture. I tell you one thing about our culture. Our culture don't want to bleach no goddamn skin. Michael Jackson hated that he had to do that because Michael Jackson had severe vitiligo. Vitiligo was confirmed on his autopsy. Michael Jackson loved his skin. He loved being black. That's why he gave us songs like "Remember the Time." I did not know it was like that. Culturally, we are different people. And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not criticizing them because them bleaching their skin is a product of colonialism. And Maz, make sure, like, I don't know if you guys have timed anybody out there, but I have it on subscriber mode only, so be sure to time people out. Y'all know the rule. Only three bad jokes, you get, banned for 5 minutes. Outside of that, Maz, don't time anybody out because I have it on subscribers only, okay? They can disagree. I'm fine people disagreeing. But I'm not fine with bad jokes. Well, anyway, this right here is a product of colonialism. And to me, it shows how much work and how far they have to go. Because there is no working in tandem. There's no working based on color lines if the people on the color line with you hate their color. Is that... T-Don might say, I'm criticizing their asses. But chat, does that make sense? Does that make sense? I cannot delineate and be and have Pan-Africanism. This is why Pan-Africanism doesn't work. This is more evidence as to why Pan-Africanism doesn't work as of now. Is Pan-Africanism a good thing in theory? Yes, it is. To me, Pan-Africanism is the thing that makes the most sense out of anything. We see the Europeans they are where they are in the world right now because they have a Pan-European ideology. So having a Pan-African ideology across the planet will end this white supremacy thing tomorrow within 2 minutes. But you cannot force Pan-Africanism on people, and that's why it doesn't work. America has been trying to force Pan-Africanism on everybody else. You cannot enforce or force anything on color lines if the people hate their own color. That will only work if you like who you are. Hell yeah, Pan-Africanism is a great thing in theory. That's why I think Black Americans have held on to it. That's why I think we've held on to it for so long. That's why we've held on to it for so long. Because it's the right thing to do in theory. But theory and practice are two different things. What something is in theory and what it is in practice are two different things. You cannot practice Pan-Africanism with people who don't like their Africanness. And that's the part that our good brother James Smalls and all of the Pan-Africanists, that's the part that's the missing piece to the puzzle, to the puzzle. That's the piece that they're missing when they talk about our need to be Pan-African. You cannot do it if people are bleaching their skin. 77%. That's a lot of people. I don't know how accurate that number is. Let's just say they double the number and it was wrong. What's half of 77%? What's half of that, chat? 30, 36? 37, 38, 38%, 38. Let's just say 30, let's split the difference, 38% of people. 34, what was it, 34? 33 and a half, something like that. 34, I don't know. My math ain't working right. 35 times 2 is 70, 36, 72, I don't know. 38 and a half, that's what it is, 38 and a half. Let's split the difference, 38 and a half. Split the difference, 38 and a half. If they say, okay, 38.5% of African women are bleaching their skin. Let's say this number is wrong by double. Let's say 38% of African women want to bleach their skin. That's still way too many. That's over critical mass. That's more than critical mass. Yeah, somebody said if the survey says 77, it's probably 90. I'm trying to be nice. He said the survey says 77%, probably 90. But the fact that all these people on this podcast said that their aunts are doing it and everybody else. Yeah. They got to get that in order. Before we come into the picture and work together, that's something that they got to work out. And let me tell y'all something, chat. There's nothing we can do to move that along. Absolutely nothing we can do to move that along. Because skin bleaching isn't a thing with us. It's not like Black Americans can speak from experience. I don't have an auntie that bleached their skin. So I can't come to them and be like, well, my cousin bleached his skin and this is what This is what black. This is how Black Americans got over skin bleaching. There's nothing we can do. That is not our cultural experience. That is not our cultural experience. So they're going to have to fix this without our help, because there's no way we can help them. Absolutely nothing we can do to help them. So as they solve their skin bleaching problems, we can go more into a Pan-African ideology. But until that happens, there's nothing we can do, folks. I don't know anyone's ever bleached skin. Hey, real talk. Hey, that's another thing. As Black Americans, if we find out you bleaching, man, we clowning the shit out you. Man, we gonna be like, nigga, this nigga use sneaker shoe polish on his face. I can see us as black folks, we ain't shit. We're gonna be like, nigga, we gonna be like, hey, bruh, hey, get your neckline. Yeah. You got a fade on your neck. Yeah. We're gonna be like, hey, why are you walking up in here looking like Neapolitan ice cream, nigga? We wrong. What? You try skin bleaching around Black Americans. They think being called African booty scratcher is bad. What if we got on the skin bleaching jokes? They think African booty scratcher is bad? Come on, Rocky. I've been gone for a week, so Rocky right here with me. Rocky has not left my side since I've been back. Rocky been my boy. He ain't left my side since I've been back. But dog, do you imagine how bad you would get clowned? Yeah, like nigga, your knuckles don't match. How your knees and your knuckles look different? If you notice, like, as much as we clown, Black Americans don't have those skin bleaching jokes in our usual jokes. Like, you've never seen a skin bleaching joke on Roast Me, because that's not what we do. You're right. They would look, if we got in on their skin bleaching jokes, they would most definitely self-deport. Shades of Pink. Hell yeah, they would self-deport. Like, nigga, no. Like, hell nah. Hell no. Niggas is cold. Like, nigga, we say some shit like this. Why was you born looking like Teddy Pendergrass and now you look like Smokey Robinson? What happened? What happened? Like lady, like, 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 nigga, we be like, Black America be like, nigga, last year you look like Pam, this year you look like Gina. What the fuck wrong with you, bitch? Niggas be on that. Women, Black women, y'all cold. Y'all would go to a woman and be like, how was you looking like Pam last week and looking like Gina this week? What the fuck is going on? We cold like that. Nigga, you went from dark to Caitlin Clark. The fuck happened? Oh yeah, Sammy Sosa got it from us. Yeah, Sammy Sosa and that bleaching shit he did. Like, you niggas went from looking like Force MDs to DeBarge. Yeah. How'd you go from looking like Outkast? How'd you go from looking like Play to looking like Kid? Yesterday you look like Play. Today you look like Kid. What the fuck happened? Ain't no way in hell. No way in hell. Now, he said, from Nino Brown to Chris Brown. Right. Hell yeah. From the Force MDs to the barge. Nigga, if you don't sit your bunny the barge looking ass down, nigga. That would not fly in our culture at all. Yeah. You will wish we called you an African Buddha scratcher once we got into our skin bleaching bag. If I say like the 2 Aunt Vivs, yeah. How you look like them niggas go from Aunt Viv number 1 to Aunt Viv number 2? Looking like the 2 Aunt Vivs. Oh shit. For real, that wouldn't happen. Culturally, we're different. We're just different culturally, bro. And that's cool. Acknowledge the difference. I'm not saying we black Americans are perfect. We ain't bleaching our fucking skin, tell you that goddamn much. Hell nah. Your black ass knuckles. Your face is like Winky Wright, and your knuckles are like Bernard Hopkins. Fuck out of here. Now let's go on. This is the same podcast. Let's go later in the show. Now they want to bring up black Americans. Mind you, this is a UK podcast. This podcast is based in the UK. And we got people from the Caribbean in the UK and people from Africa in the UK. You dig? They say that man say he went from Harry Winslow to Rachel. To Aunt Rachel. Went from Eddie Winslow to the Fresh Prince. Bleacher Report. Let me start reading the chat. Let me start reading the chat. Y'all stupid. I gotta get on to the next story. This now they're getting ready to talk about black Americans. Take a listen, then we're gonna comment.
We are the world. We are the children.
Okay.
I'm leaving it after that. Goodness sake, man.
All right, who is another enemy? While we're in the vicinity of Africa, let me just bring
Can't leave this place.
Killer Cam.
Yes.
An enemy of progress.
Yeah.
Not even
Come on. Killer Cam in America. He said some madness, bro. No.
Him said, come on.
Yeah.
Do you want to play it?
Yeah, play it. No, can't even call him Killer Cam no more.
I need to give him a new name.
I liked Cameron, you know.
Coon.
This actually, like,
What did he say now?
But
Wait and listen.
Now what they're about to do is they're mad at what Cam had to say about Africans. And the way Cam delivered it, I would have taken a different approach just so I wouldn't get this backlash right here, this part right here. But they're going to go over the substance of what he said. But listen to what they're talking about Cam when Cam was talking about Africans stinking or whatever. Take a listen.
You know,
online.
All he like is Nollywood. If it's not Nollywood, he said some madness, bro. I couldn't believe
drill music.
Stupid.
I couldn't believe it.
IQ levels.
You know what? Let's do it. You know what the African told me people stink? This is what you said out your mouth. You went there in a certain area. Whenever you said they stunk, and you said that the show when niggas said everybody put your hands in the air that the whole shit was funky.
I was good.
Sugar Mom said that. Ask both of that. I'm just telling you what you told me. You talking about, the truck that picked me up had bullet holes in it, and then the driver gave us what did he give you? AK? They give y'all a gun and say, be careful of some shit. You gotta be careful with
That's mad.
man. I'm not dissing at these other countries.
Just it.
I love my Africans.
No, you
They
don't.
don't fuck with us like that. They say we Yankees. Y'all niggas ain't no motherfucking Africans. Why don't we go to the Olympics and a black man go to the Olympics?
It's a very important thing that he said right there. Mind you, Cameron is speaking in the context of the person that's asking him why doesn't he claim African. He's saying you said these things about Africa. He didn't say he said it. That's his experience. He's talking to the person that's questioning why he doesn't call himself Africans. And then he said something very true. They call us Yankees.
Like the American.
What's wrong with being African?
Ain't nothing wrong with being African. It's just that I'm not African. I was born in America.
Are you black?
Yeah, I'm black.
You just black.
I'm a black man, nigga. Shout out to my African. I'm not African. My mother from Atlantic City. I'm not African.
Well, that's disappointing because I actually like Cameron.
Well,
man.
very disappointing, bro.
Cameron
What the hell is that?
a lot of shit, often.
Yeah, he's
hear
put his
that.
mouth on that
Often.
one, bro.
I do hear that.
It feels like this whole
And let's not
rhetoric.
act like, hey, look, you got to be able to admit, a lot of people do stink. They do. I'm not going to go around and say Africans stink in general. I'm not going to say that like the way Cam did, because I would hate for that to be the primary focus on why I talk about Africans. I don't say what I have to say about Africans because they stink. I say what I have to say about Africans because they got a 77% skin bleaching problem. And they got to get that shit in check. But now that they done talking about the Nigerians bleaching their goddamn skin, they want to come to Black America. Let's keep going.
With Americans being like, we're not African. It feels like we're going backwards in time. But I really am like, the rhetoric that he is spewing is really poisonous. When you even just think of modern day, what is taking place in South Africa, when xenophobia takes over, people die. And Black Americans feel, to me, very borderline on something's going to kick off. Like, to have somebody...
You hear that? She threw the term xenophobia out there and then turn around and say it sounds like something's going to kick off between Black Americans and Africans like South Africa. See? That's where you're wrong, Jack. But you notice they're not asking why is it both South Africa and the United States feels this way, and also Europe. Why is it that Caribbeans in the UK, why do they feel that about Africans? Why do South Africans feel that about Nigerians and other Africans? Why is it Nigerians are getting their passports banned all across the world? Why? They're not asking critical questions. Okay, I got this all these people, if different corners of the earth are saying the same thing about this group of people that bleaches their skin at 77%, what is it with us that's making these groups say these things? She's not asking that. None of them are asking that question. Why is it the whole world has the same things to say about us?
In his position, talking down on Africans like that, I'm like, no, this is dangerous, you know.
It's been brewing for a while, though.
Yeah.
Like, they've been
No,
like
it's
doing
not
this
dangerous.
boycott.
Now, it can get dangerous for us because now you're over here trying to sound like a Karen, trying to sound like a white woman. When Black Americans joke around, you want to go around playing victim.
Africans shop businesses in America. They've been doing that for a while.
Yeah.
And I don't know why, because they, it's like they feel like it almost reminds me, like, it's kind of similar to what we had a conversation, like, in terms of even our struggle. Like, we wasn't born here, coming over here from Africa, like, and some of the experiences were with some of the Caribbeans and stuff like that, where it's like we went through the struggle and everything over here. You guys have come over here, and it's like you're not understanding what we've had to go through. So that's like their disposition in terms of like, yo, we've had to fight all of this.
So you already just said he compared it to what's happening in the UK. The Caribs, the Caribbeans over there fighting for stuff, and the Africans are coming not caring. So he brought it up. But he brought it up, but he didn't give no solutions on how to fix that. Nor did he say anything about personal or group responsibility from the Africans that are coming into these situations. Listen to this.
our ancestors was brought here, we was wherever, but we're not the same as you. You guys have come here now, owning businesses and doing whatever it is. You don't support us because they feel like Africans that migrate over, wherever it might be, whenever there's like a black movement or whatever's going on, they stay out of it.
Nah, they're not part of it.
They just mind their business because they've got businesses, they've got things to protect. But whenever it's time to be black and do whatever, oh yeah. So I feel like that's the root cause of where it's coming from. But again, I feel like there's like a miseducation there where they're missing the bigger picture. Because at the end of the day,
some of these people in education, he diagnosed the problem perfectly. Yeah. You're African when it's time to settle. You're wherever we are, you're black when it's time to have fun, but you ain't there for the struggle. And then he goes into education. I think it's an education issue. It ain't education. For all this education these motherfuckers talk, they don't talk about educating themselves on the political and social climate of where they live. That's education. And when I say education, not what the white people say. Because they do get education about an education about what's going on socially and politically in the areas. But they're getting that education from the white supremacists who's not going to tell them the truth. They're not coming in and studying and going deeper into why these conditions exist, why people are fighting, what's going on. All this education they talk, these motherfuckers don't educate themselves ever on where they live. Like me, before I went to New York, I educated myself on New York. Okay, I know, because for one, I'm from the hood, so hood all across the world is the same to me. I go to the hood everywhere I go. I went to Houston's Third World when I was in Houston. Anytime I'm in Dallas, I'm in South Dallas. I've been all through Miami's hoods, Baltimore. I've been through DC's hoods. I've been through hoods, Oakland, Seattle, San Francisco, New York, Philadelphia, and I can't even name all the cities' hoods I've been through. But before I go, I educate myself. I educate myself on how that local hood operates. I know in New York, through speaking to native New Yorkers, all the people that was about to rob somebody, that look to rob tourists, they look for people who are doing this. Looking at all the skyscrapers. Because a New Yorker done seen all that shit before. So when they walk, they're walking with their head to where they go. When they see somebody looking like this, doing all this crazy stuff, they know that that's a mark. I know that New Yorkers, when it comes to black New Yorkers are into fly shoes. So your shoe game got to be on point. They can tell you not from New York if you got some old bum-ass, decrepit-ass shoes. Because a real New Yorker is going to have some fly shoes. So I made sure I wore some fly shoes, and I wasn't doing all this shit. Because I didn't want to become a mark. I educated myself. I educated myself. You educate yourself before you go somewhere. Because where you're going has its own way of being that's different than where you're from. And the only way I can survive on where I am is by educating myself on where I am. And they saying everything about education except for educating themselves on where they're going. Damn, she said, you married and now separated from a Nigerian. They don't like us. They call us European Americans. Well, shout to this, but yet I've been in Africa, so they need to stop. Right? Damn, they said he called you a European? Wow. Yeah, you don't want to act like you don't want to look like a mark. When I go to New Orleans, like I remember I went to New Orleans right after about a year after Hurricane Katrina, when the NBA had its All-Star game down there. Man, I wasn't about to go all throughout New Orleans looking like no goddamn no. I went through, but I made sure to educate myself before I went out there. Let's keep going with this terrible ass discussion.
As black in general, like we're trying to move forward, and this is like to the people, to our oppressors. This is funny.
Yeah,
Of course it is.
Do you understand? Like, this
You
is
see how they jump right to the oppressors? This is funny. No, the oppressors put you in on our environments because they know you ain't shit. They know you're cowards. They know you're not gonna fight. They know you only worried about yourself and your family. So no, you're the thing is, you don't know that you're the pawn. Why are you talking about education? They had no issues bringing, because the Nigerians that are gonna stand and fight, they gonna keep their asses in Nigeria. The Ghanaians that are gonna stand and fight, they gonna keep their asses in Ghana. The people who stand and fight stay home. That's the difference. So while he's talking about what they're laughing at, no, they're not. They're laughing. They're always laughing. We don't give a shit about. Let me think about Black Americans. We don't give a damn about them laughing. We know that the oppressors are some sick, sadistic people. They laughed at people getting lynched. So fuck what they laugh at. We don't care about that. What's up, Rocky? They don't care about none of that.
This is their plan.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
We
This
just
is
live in
hilarious
their
to
plan.
them. They're sitting back and just smoking their cigars and look at them. Literally.
But do you think this is probably some parts of America?
It's wide.
When I say some parts of America, yeah,
Mm.
it's like if you talk about how we got London, London is very multicultural. Like,
Yeah.
you can go to another city. If you talk America, if you're talking like Houston, that's like, I don't think I can hear someone coming from Houston talking like that.
No,
That means he has not educated himself on America, because Houston is the most ethnically diverse city in America. Do people even know that? Do you even know that, sir? And no, this is how Americans talk in general. Yeah. Houston is the most ethnically diverse city in America. Okay?
So do you feel like that part of
Because
your
it's
statement
I think
is
what we
widely
have-
spread?
what we have to be very careful. We talk about this a lot on this pod.
Okay.
And first of all, they're going to be like, look again, you're talking about us again. But no, I think it's
Well, let me slow down, because this one here, she seems to have the biggest issue with Black Americans standing up and saying, like, I'm tired of y'all talking about us. Listen to what she has to say right here.
You talk about how we got London. London is very multicultural. Like,
Yeah.
you can go to another city. If you talk America, if you're talking like Houston, that's like, I don't think I can hear someone coming from Houston talking like that.
no. I
So
think,
do you feel like that part of
Because
your
it's
statement
I think
is
what we
widely
have-
spread?
what we have to be very careful. We talk about this a lot on this pod.
Okay.
And first of all, they're going to be like, look again, you're talking about us again. But
Yes, we are.
No, I think it's pockets of people. There's mindsets across America, across the UK, across the world. There are some people that have difference of opinion on what blackness means to them and who owns the right to the word black.
I mean-
to the word black.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
I think that I don't think it's just maybe if you're not from Houston, you're going to say Cameron's from New York or lives in New York.
And he should be around.
And
Yeah,
he
he
should
should
know,
know.
'cause like
He
the-
You should be
know
more
better.
learned. And I'm actually like, okay, if you don't want to claim Africa, for whatever reason, if you don't want to claim Africa, you feel you're Black American, you can trace your generations back, and you don't want to go back to Africa, have at it. We now kind of understand there's this movement where this is what we're accepting. It's the shitting on and having very lazy conversations about Africa. Like to say that you went,
Hold on. As much as y'all shit on Black Americans and have lazy conversations about us, you have no education. That's one of the laziest conversations to have. You come to a place that built HBCUs, you will get a degree from an HBCU and say Black Americans have no education. And we built the goddamn HBCU that you got your education from. No, the conversations about us is lazy, and y'all keep talking about us. And look at the name of this podcast. Your aunties can never. Using the term auntie is a Black American way of doing it. Africans don't say auntie. This goes back to the 2000s, the early 2000 teens, when Black Americans started calling Black women in their 40s. We were calling them cougars, and went from cougars to aunties. Well, cougars kind of said, cougar means 40 plus, dating and messing around with somebody in their late teens, 20s. That's a cougar. The aunties are the ones that weren't necessarily cougars, but they were just we as black men started calling those women aunties, the women in their 40s and their 50s, because we're going to give them the same respect that we give our aunties, even though we're not family. And you remember Kamala Harris was like, "Don't call me auntie." Y'all remember that? And it was when the Black Panther movie came out, when Killmonger started using the term auntie, that's when it went around the world on the movie Black Panther. But it went around the world on Black Panther because it's born out of Black American culture, and it's actually a sign of respect. So they literally named their podcast after a term, not the term auntie had been around, but auntie has always, since the late 2000s, been a descriptive term for how young black men talk about older black women, mature black women with respect. It's a respectful term. A cougar means she's just trying to smash. But an auntie was somebody with respect. So again, using our lingo, talking about us.
Went to Africa and Africa stinks. Or all 54 countries.
Exactly.
Did your brethren go to Africa? Or did you go to one place, one club, one moment where maybe someone was musty?
Have you been to
Have you ever been to a rave in New York where someone is musty? I'm very
New
sure.
York smells like piss. Let's
So
be
let's
honest.
not.
What's the subway system?
She said New York smells like piss, and yes, it does. But guess what's not in New York? A bunch of black Americans either. But that's another topic.
The streets. So I'm sure you've seen bullet holes in a.
This same Scottie Pippen looking chick that had an issue with what we're saying talks about New York smelling like piss.
He has before. If you're talking the truth about your, so that's the part where lazy conversations
lazy.
are dangerous. You don't have to claim Africa. It's fine. Don't. Yeah, it's what it is. Not lazy. They don't fuck with. Who's the they? The one or two people they've interacted, or all? Because it's not true. That's the part.
She says, "Who was this they?" When Cameron said she said, "Who was they?" Because she said the one or two people you've interacted with. No, black Americans have common shared stories. We can go online and hear y'all talking about us. Hearing y'all talking about black Americans. We can listen to your podcast right now, and y'all bringing us up, and y'all not even here. Mind you, this podcast is based in the UK, and is dealing with the people on the podcast are either from Africa or the Caribbean. The people on this podcast are from Africa or the Caribbean, and this podcast is in the UK. Why are y'all talking about us?
Part that I find
problematic. I agree.
Lazy conversation.
It's a generalization of everything.
I just hate ignorant people, man.
Yeah.
Sometimes, I never question God. I've been raised not to question God, but I say, God, you gave the wrong people fame, because someone like Cameron should really know better. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. I don't mind. Even here in the UK, there's people that say, I'm British. Do you know what I mean? You will never hear me saying that. I'll always say I'm Ugandan. Do you know what I mean? Like, but if you want to be British, cool. But then don't be British and then shit on the people that claim, Caribbean culture or African culture. Do you know what I'm saying? Even like you have some Caribbean people that say,
And yes, there are black Brits. So the least educated people in this are the Africans. Y'all know Africans don't know shit about world politics, about what happened around the world. They only know what white folks taught them. David McRitchie, Ancient and Modern Britons. The ancient Brits are black. And when I say ancient, I mean 400 years ago. The deeper you study the what happened during slavery, the more you see the movement of people with pigmentation in their skin. And they were always in Europe. And you got the class of black people during the American Revolution that were loyal, the loyalists, the British loyalists. Read this book right here. But I really encourage y'all to study the American Revolution. The American Revolution gives you a lot of seeds on what was happening around the world that you can find and look further study into. The British loyalists during the American Revolution either went back to Britain, some went back to Britain, the rest were either taken to Jamaica or the Bahamas or somewhere in the Caribbean, meaning Americans. And then there were some people who came from Britain who stayed loyal to Britain. There are a lot of British loyalists that came to America from Britain, especially in that Boston area, in Massachusetts, New Hampshire, Rhode Island, Maine, New York, Pennsylvania, especially from Pennsylvania, in those areas, you have plenty of black Brits. And they stayed in America for 100 years or so. And when the revolution kicked off and the United States stopped being property of Great Britain, they went back to Britain. For all the education these people talk, they are so not educated on world politics, on history, on the movement of people. I find Africans to be the least educated on where people across the diaspora ended up and how they got there. Yeah, all of New England. Yeah, right. The New England area. The New England area is full of black Brits. Full of them. Where do you think that music came from? Where are the people? Let me give it. Black people. The United States has been the superpower around the world for the last 100 years. And white America has had the control of this place for 250 years. Name one genre of American music that comes from white America. Name one. Y'all see my Black American music family tree right there? Y'all see my tree? Get it at DewanB.com. Name one genre of music they created here in America. Did they create rock? No. Did they create ragtime? No. Did they create jazz? No. Did they create country? No. Did they create rhythm and blues? No. Did they create dance music? No. Did they create pop? No. So if they didn't create music here in America, who do you think created the music in Europe? It's confirmed now that Beethoven was black. So was Mozart. Look up Mozart's hair. And those are just the ones they talk to you about. All the other composers, you got think about this. Who created the music? You think white people created something like as complicated as classical music is, you think that they created it? They can play it, but they didn't create it. It's the reason why Black American music has such a close tie to the classical sound. Even like when you pull up an image of like Johann Sebastian Bach. When you pull up Bach was very big with using a harpsichord. If you notice, Europeans during this time, they all like to have those wigs. These wigs were them basically showing appreciation to their teachers. White people don't make afros. The people that taught them make afros. When you're thinking about Bach and people like this, it's the same old story. They'll get you focused on Elvis so you don't look at Chuck Berry. they'll highlight Elvis. And then as the generations go along, you don't know Chuck Berry. You don't know Little Richard. You don't know Charles Brown. You don't know Ike Turner. Or if you do acknowledge Ike Turner, he's known for just beating up on Tina, not for creating the first rock and roll album, Rocket 88, in 1951. You could even hear it. I'm trying to look for this now. This is a harpsichord with Bach. Yeah, I want to talk about our music being African, but we use a lot of harpsichord in our music. And then you hear that harpsichord work. And that year, this music came out in the 1600s. And then you fast forward to now. You hear the difference? Your box harpsichord, and then that second harpsichord you heard was James Carmichael playing for the Jackson 5. I Want to Be Where You Are. Heard that? Even in our music, it carries over. It carries over. It crosses over. Talk about carrying over. It carries over. You can go from Bach to the Jackson 5. Ain't no Africa in that, is it? Ain't no African drums, no African instruments. Barry White also used a lot of harpsichord. So did Bach. From Bach. And if you're a part of my Patreon, I have an episode of my music. That's why I got to join my Patreon. I broke all this stuff down on Patreon. And if you're a current member on Patreon, you need to be checking those archives out. I don't post on Patreon every day. I don't post regular. I'm not one of those going to post 3 or 4 new videos a week on Patreon. I'm not. Y'all got to join my Patreon for the history. I have an episode in there called From Bach to Barry White. And it breaks all this stuff down on how our sound went from Johann Sebastian Bach to Barry White. So chat room, does it make sense? Hear that harpsichord in the background? I don't hear no African banjo, do I? Did y'all hear African banjo? Did y'all hear African drum? And who is Johann Sebastian Bach dressed like? He dressed like a nigga. So this whole history thing is far more convoluted than we all came from Africa. It's far deeper than that. We use more instruments. We use the organ that comes from Europe. We use a saxophone that comes from Europe. And the saxophone was actually created by a white man. But we the ones that popularized it. So y'all see, when you talk about, they're over here dissing black Brits who said that they're Brits, not understanding that when it comes to the relationship between Great Britain and the Caribbean, it's far deeper than Africa. The Caribbean is where a lot of European blacks were kicked out of during the Spanish Inquisition and later on through other parts of Europe. The Latinos. Look up Latinos. Not give me. Look at this. A black Latino exiled to Spanish America. Those were the black Latinos. They were in Spain, Portugal, Seville. Oftentimes they were of Jewish heritage. Oftentimes they were of Jewish background. Those were the first people that were exiled to the Caribbean, were the Latinos, 1450. A lot of, during the Spanish Inquisition, a lot of those Africans, a lot of those Moors that got kicked out of Europe either went to Africa or the Caribbean. Most of them went to the Caribbean. So a lot of your Caribbean folks that are back in Europe now, they're actually back in their ancestral land. I know that sounds crazy to hear, but when you understand history deeper than what you were taught in Western schools, it's very easy. Yeah, Oliver Cromwell. Yep. Kicked a lot of swarthy black folks out to the Caribbean, right? So the black Caribbean person has a different relationship with Europe and the UK than the African. It's a different thing. Appreciate the Cash App, Gail. The trivia lost, and I appreciate the Cash App. Thank you. Thank you so much. And thank you to everybody that's contributing over here on Cash App. Salute to y'all. Y'all get the Cash App, $ DeJuan B1. This is a very deep thing that if you ever took the time to study the relationship between the Caribbean and Europe, you can study that history and you can read books on that for years. That deserves its own study, the relationship between the Caribbean and Europe and the peoples of the Caribbean and Europe. But here you go. You got an African trying to speak for everybody. You need to get educated. You need education. You need an education. 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 You need an education. An education. Education. Now here's where we get to the point where it says, where they come back again about why they don't participate in our struggle. Listen to this.
kind of, no, I think you were saying in terms of, I think what riles a lot of people up, especially in America and even here, is that Africans don't normally get involved in the black struggle. And it's because, like, I remember when Black Lives Matter was going on, I was talking to my dad and aunties about, like, we ain't got time for that. We got to pick up an extra shift. All they're thinking of is going to work and then building their life back home.
You touched on that last week.
Somebody says, how did Latinos get to the Caribbean in 1450s? By boat. You know boats existed right there, my brother, right? They got there by boat. What, you thought they took an airplane? You thought they took a 1450 helicopter across the Atlantic Sea? They got there by boat, brother. You do know that boats existed, right? You do know as long as there have been Homo sapiens in the water, Homo sapiens built boats, right? You do know that, right? All right, let's keep going. I had to answer that question because I felt they needed some help. Boat is how they got there. There was no magical. There was no Aladdin carpets. Your brother, I guess, brother thought they took a carpet. They jacked a carpet from Aladdin. Hey, Aladdin, give me your carpet. I'm going to the Caribbean on this motherfucker.
We were talking, you did touch on that. You mentioned the fact that, like, what did you say? Because I was watching yesterday. You said something like, when a lot of the things were happening, the focus was on making enough money to send home and concentrate on that. So necessarily, and also many Africans didn't really feel like, Caribbeans didn't either, but many Africans didn't feel like they were going to stay here for that as long as they did. Caribbeans absolutely didn't either, but that is what you said. So I do think that is sometimes the
And also, I was going to say that during Black Lives Matter, I'm sure there were definitely Caribbean families and older generations, also generational, that what are you not doing? I've got to go to work. So I think in your world, you're going to have that. And I know that there'll be Caribbean like, my parents did the same thing. What you're doing out there?
Always the older generation that think that.
It's going to be
basically what you have right here is so basically what you have here is them making a bunch of excuses to why they don't jump in to the fight. The dude said that, hey, I have an extra shift to work. Do you know how much I work? Since when does having an extra shift? Black Americans work. We built this country. We the hardest working people on the planet. How you can't tell the hardest working people on the planet that they can't take time to boycott. They can't take time to fight, to stand up to oppression because of work. You can't tell us that. Not as hard as we work. My grandfather worked at a company, sold chickens on the side, and eventually opened up his own hamburger stand. My grandfather worked at Goldberger Solid Food Services in Los Angeles, California, and on the weekends he ran his burger stand. My grandma worked that burger stand. What are you talking about? You talking to the people who we worked our asses off and we fought when they redlined us and said, you gonna live in this small little box right here. Work didn't stop us from fighting and say, hell nah, we're gonna move about this motherfucker. It's too tight, too condensed. We need more space. Work didn't stop us from doing that. Work has never stopped anybody from fighting for their rights if they believe in having rights. Work has never stopped that. Work ain't stopping nobody from fighting. And they over here making this, they have a round table of cowardice going on right now. Just a round table of cowards. And anytime something, look at the bigger picture. No, the bigger picture is either we all gonna get mistreated or nobody's gonna get mistreated. That's the big picture. There is no taking mistreatment for a big picture. No. I'm not about to take mistreatment for a big picture. look at the big picture. Man, please.
Different generations
No, I
that are
agree.
going to get involved in the struggle in different ways. And I think there's real lack of information about the amount of African people, just black people, even, and there was a time when Asians or South Asians were
See,
called black.
They're talking about us, but they're not listening to what we say. The issue is coming and benefiting off of our struggle, but not participating in it when it's time to. You have to address that. This whole diaspora divide is going to stop when y'all address the issues that we're bringing up. Y'all trying to call us crazy. See, before it was denial. Oh no, it's not. No, first they ignored us, right? Y'all remember when we started delineating around the end of Obama's term, 16 into 17? It was ignored. Now they've acknowledged it and they're lying and making excuses. The next step is going to have to be acceptance, y'all. Y'all going to have to accept. Listen to what the South Africans are saying about y'all. Listen to what the Caribbean. Everybody can't be wrong. If the Caribbean Europeans have an issue with the African Europeans, and that issue centers around not being involved in the struggle, you guys taking advantage of what's been fought for and gained, what they fought for from previous generations, y'all come in taking advantage and not sharing the wealth. That's the same thing that the South Africans are complaining about right now, man. It's the same thing that we're complaining about here in America. America started rejecting Nigerian passports because of scamming. Well, Japan is having major issues with Nigerians now. It was something that came out last week where they were surveying like Japanese. They were like, the Japanese understood the difference between American blacks and Africans. And the scamming culture coming from Nigeria. Canada has an issue with Nigerian scamming. China has an issue with Nigerian scamming. All these different, everybody, all I'm saying is this: everybody can't be wrong. There is no Pan-Africanism until we all address our own issues. We as Black Americans have some terrible issues ourselves that we're going to have to address without other people, because other people can't help us deal with these internal Jay-Z's. That's our problem. Jay-Z's are our problem. The people who look like us but who really work for them. Roland Martin, that's our problem. Although Roland Martin canceling himself. We got our own problems that we got to address. We got problems. Y'all got problems. Address the issue. It's not about education. It's about facing the facts, homie. Everybody got an issue with y'all? Everybody? Roland Martin. Yeah, we do got a Roland Martin issue. Roland Martin's nickname is Peg. Peg. Roland Martin's problem is coming out now. Is coming out is he like getting pegged. Every time I hear Roland Martin's name, I'm gonna think of this. I'm hearing this in my mind every time I hear Roland Martin's name. That's Roland Martin's new nickname is Peg. Peg. Yeah, Roland new name is Peggy Bundy. You know, y'all remember that Chappelle show? Well, on the Dave Chappelle, what he's talking about, Rick James. What did the five fingers say to the face? Smack. Well, Roland Martin's version is gonna be, what did the three fingers say to the bunghole? I made myself laugh. I made myself laugh. What did the three fingers say to the bunghole? That's what it sounded like when the old girl was when Roland Martin was with a little gal, a little big booty, little thick little girl. He was, hey, hit Roland Martin like, hey, yeah. What I need you to do is, I want you to one more time, but next time when you put it out, I want to hear. I know I'm corny. I'm corny. I'm corny. I'm corny. I get it. It just maybe I don't know. I just thought about that. Roland Martin be calling her. He'd be like, well, then you know what I want you to do tonight? Yeah, talk sex to me. Yeah, tonight when I come over, I want you to me. Yeah, yeah. Because I just finished talking about these stupid fools. Yeah, I'm man. Today was a hard day at work today. Yeah. I was talking about these stupid fools all day. So since I've been talking about these stupid fools all day, I just want to come over your house so you can, and we can have a good time. So I can go back to work tomorrow and talk about these stupid fools. These stupid fools. I need to be relaxed. I need to relax tonight from talking about these stupid fools. So yeah. So, and I'll be fine. Well, I think I'm opening the phone. I wasn't gonna do it, but I'm opening the phone lines. Y'all want to call in now. I wasn't gonna do it, but I'm opening the phone lines. So if you're gonna call in now. Don't wait 5 minutes. Be like, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and call in. Call in now if you want to talk. Because if don't nobody call in within the first 2 minutes of me opening the phone line, I'll shut the phone line down. 323-705-5150. 323-705-5150. I was gonna say, I would have gotten away with it if it weren't for you stupid fools. Right. Like on Scooby-Doo. What's up, caller? What's your name? Where you calling from?
This is Dana from Pasadena.
Hey, what's up, Dana?
Not much. Did you enjoy your trip?
Oh, yeah. New York was fun, but ain't no way hell I can live out there. F and no.
I love New York.
I'm glad to be back in LA.
I'm laughing because you call Roland Martin. I'm sorry, but let me go ahead and give my opinion. As far as the Africans, here we are again. I mean, we are just being attacked on all sides. 154 podcast, a UK podcast, or television show, whatever it is. I mean, why don't y'all just leave us alone? If we want to be left alone, why can't you leave us alone?
Right.
I mean, I just don't get it. It's just like, okay, we want to be left alone. If we have done our genealogy and we didn't have any African family members or ancestors, then that's us. Let us go with that narrative. That is us. It has nothing to do with you. We do not have to claim Africa. We have melanin in common, but we are a different people. We can tell because you keep trying to come over here and we're not trying to go over there, not in mass numbers.
Right.
As far as Roland Martin is concerned, he deserves what he gets. I mean, we did stupid fools, we did a-holes, we did everything. Let me get my iPad so I can show you. We did everything. You are a paid Democratic shield, and you got caught. Not that everybody doesn't have their own stuff, but you got caught doing yours after you talked about people in lambasted them. So, Roland, you get what you deserve. Chickens are coming home to roost.
That's real talk. That is real talk. Thanks again, Dana, for giving us a call. Yeah, goddamn Roland Martin. Pain, it will come back to you. Pain. Peggy Bundy. What's up, caller? What's the name? Where you calling from?
Hey, Dewan, this is Jacoby.
What's up, Jacoby? What's up, my brother?
Man, two things. You know, every time a lot of these foreigners, man, call, talk about Black Americans, they get on my nerves, man, because if they really want to know what was going on, it's not that you guys are not invisible, but they take their platform to shit on Black Americans to get what they want to say. So they're not really looking for a solution. They just want to hear themselves talk. And that's on them, because I remember, like I said before, I remember Clubhouse. I remember all the vile things everybody was saying. And it was mostly coming from the Nigerians, mostly. And then people, when Black Americans respond, they want to say, oh, you're hurting my feelings. Oh. No, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. And, so the second part, man, that image when Flacco was explaining about what Rolly was getting done, his warp core getting primed, I'm like, I'm sorry, man. This is that's a bridge too far for me. And the reason why people go on that Rolly the chicken nugget boulet bird is because he shitted on Black Americans for decades. And it's not that what you were doing is because you portrayed yourself as a better, higher up person than everybody else. Like, your shit don't stink. And then when the Democrat Party is tired of you, they break their tools. So, hey, what's good for the goose is good for the gander.
Right, man. You're right about that. And thanks for giving us a call. Jacoby held a good point. I personally feel that the Democrats, it's possible that if they're not behind it, they know what's going on, and they could have done something to stop it, but they didn't. Probably because they're tired of Roland. Remember, just recently, Roland been talking about no voting, right? Roland been sounding like us lately, talking about something withholding our vote. So, it's just a question. It's just a question. Maybe the Democrats are putting Roland on notice. Hey, you talk about withholding that vote. Remember who pay you, boy? That might be happening behind the scenes. I don't know. What's up, caller? What's your name? Where you calling from?
Yeah, Dewan B. It's Khalil Roberts, Mr. MPC 2000 XL. What's up, brother?
Yes, sir. What's on mind, brother?
Yeah, the thing with Roland Martin, man, like, we kind of knew that, bro. Like, from back in the day, man, all the bouncing, all the other stuff, the weird stuff that he been doing. Like, if you couldn't really catch a grip, I mean, especially us here in Black America, we knew something was going on, especially anything with that Boule crowd. Like, it's always been some suspect stuff from way back in the day that we can look back and say, hey, man, it's something weird there or something going on. And that seemed to be, I would say, the carrot that's always dangled in front of them or held over their head, or the dollar held over their head, man. So that's one thing that, we always seen with the Roland stuff, man. And, these, I would say, man, to the podcasts and stuff like that, the people who talk, about us in Black America across who don't, really understand this. I know this is going to sound weird, but I give them a little leeway. Obviously, I would be a little bit more happy if they call somebody up like you from Black America to at least get an understanding, which they're not going to do. But one thing is, like me, I worked with some Africans before. And one of the things that I really paid attention to is they weren't really looking for solutions with other Black people unless some white people were involved. And this is not the cast, put the cast on all Africans and stuff like that. But that was just something that I paid attention to, man. And I'll leave it there, bro.
That's real talk, man. Thanks for us call.
Yes, sir. Take care.
Yeah, yeah, it's just it's what's happening right now with Roland. Remember we talked about this being the remember we talked about this being the era, the age of revelation, the era of exposure. We are living in the time of exposure. You had Roland Martin. You had what's that one trendy dude that got caught touching little underage kids. What chat room? What's the name of that trans that got caught with the underage kids? What's the name of that? They was talking they're the ones that they've been going around doing all this exposing, bringing out these people, so-called calling people out. Chat room. What's the name of that trans person? I just remember the story. I didn't get too deep into it because I tend to stay away from that kind of. I tend to stay away from sexual deviancy when people with kids get messed with. It brings back PTSD for me. All my years working with kids who are victims of PTSD. So, yeah, Star something. Sydney Star. That's what it was. Waverly, I appreciate the Cash App. Call in. My man Waverly hooked me up, boy. In New York, Waverly Timberlake. I got hooked up in New York by Waverly Timberlake. And brother gave me all kinds of old 80s and 70s hip-hop stuff. We'll talk about that later. I'll get into talk about that. Hopefully, Waverly, hopefully, call in, Wave. But Sydney Star, apparently this is a dude. This is a dude. Nuts and all. Arrested on child sex charges. Why is she looking like Tyronn Lue right here? Why is she over here looking like BG Knockout? That's a nigga no heat. This is a dude. This nigga looking like BG Knockout. Is it favorites being held without bond in Fulton County Jail on charges of aggravated child molestation, sexual battery against a child under 16, and sodomy, according to the jail sources. This is somebody who prided themselves on outing, like, who was that rapper that this dude, Chingy, that's what it was, Chingy. This dude said Chingy was messing with him. This is the dude that said Chingy was messing with him. Yeah, and this is the dude that Eddie Winslow was messing with, right? I know Eddie Winslow like the chicks with dicks. Yeah, this is the dude that Eddie Winslow was messing with. I tell you what you won't hear though. If y'all notice, where's the silence from the LGBTQ community? They are so quick to talk about toxic masculinity and straight black men are the white people of black society. So they're going to call out the TS community. And I'm sensitive to this because I remember I got caught up on an episode of Fox Soul. Y'all remember the episode of Fox Soul I was on with Umar? It was a whole ass dude talking. It was Cynthia G and some nigga that I personally thought was a woman. Me and Dr. Umar thought it was a woman. But Umar was on that, my beautiful sister. I don't say all that. I didn't embarrass myself like Umar did. But Umar was talking about all this, my beautiful sister. And that turned out to be a whole ass dude. And the people at Fox Soul didn't even tell us we was dealing with a dude. They play all these games, they want to call us toxic when we talk about this, the fact that we don't like this kind of stuff. Well, where are y'all now to talk about this nigga and what he did? What's up, caller? What's the name? Where you calling from?
Hey, what's up, man? This is Waverly.
Hey, what's up, Wave?
Everything's good, man. I'm glad you got back safe.
Hey, y'all. This is Wave calling in. When I was in New York, in the Bronx, he went all the way back home. He loaded me up with so much footage and CD audio of early Disco King Mario, Grand Wizard Theodore, Cool Herc. I mean, you go down the line. Early LL, before he got to the radio. I mean, he loaded me up with so much. So because of the man y'all hear on the phone right here, now I'm going to be able to go back to here. Like, it's one thing to study this stuff and what people say. It's a whole nother thing to be able to listen. They recorded a lot of those park jams and stuff like that from the 70s and the 80s. And he just unloaded, what, about 50 CDs for me? I got about three or four years of work now, but my bad. I just want to let them know who you are. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. Hello?
Yeah. Go ahead. What's on your mind, brother?
Everything's good, man. Everything's good, man. Just relaxing and chilling, bro. Those tethers are crazy, but that's what they are, bro.
Y'all getting overrun in New York, brother. And Wave, you were one of the phase, like you were over 6 feet tall. You were actually one thing I noticed when I was out there, I was like, why are all these dudes so goddamn short? And that's it ain't you, but you FBA.
Nah. Yeah, dudes are all short and smoked out looking and crusty. It look crazy, bro. I don't know what it is with them. But everything's good, man. So I heard you was gonna do some type of hip hop thing, right? Like a write up or something like that.
Yeah, I'm gonna do when on my website incenseandashtrays.com. Sometime in the next week, I'm putting it together now. It takes me about, for something like this, for an article like this, it's gonna take me about a week to write it because I gotta be right. But I gotta put it together. But in the next week or so, I'm gonna write it up.
See, the great thing you got is if you talk about a group or a couple of cats or whatever, you can actually play their music.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. A lot of people haven't heard these parties because they weren't around. Yeah, but it's all good, man. Everything is all right, man.
And I appreciate you, Wade.
You doing your thing, bro.
You helped my research out so much by giving me those CDs of them parties, brother. Thank you so much.
Oh yeah, man. You're welcome, man. Anytime. It's no big deal.
This is our FBA brother Wade Timberlake, man. I appreciate you for calling in.
All right, brother. Have a good one.
Yeah. See, he's an example of how we take care of each other as a community. DJ FaZe called me. DJ FaZe didn't go around and say this and say that. They needed some funds. I sent not that much through Cash App, not that much. I didn't send a whole lot. I sent a few just to pay for some of the stuff. But then I paid my own way out there, not because he asked me to. All he did was tell me. All DJ FaZe did was ask me to tell me. He told me that it was happening, and I love the fact that FaZe has done such a great job documenting the history. So, because of you guys' help with my foundation and my music history foundation, I was able to get out there and really study early hip hop at its roots. And I had FaZe out there. I got to meet Disco King Mario's daughter, and I got to meet this brother right here who just called in, Wave. Wave, FBA brother, took care of me, man. I didn't ask for them. It's in my other room now. I can't get it, but he loaded me up with like 2 bags of CDs from 80s and 70s and some 90s hip hop parties in New York. So now I can go back and listen to those parties. I can go back and listen to Grand Wizard Theodore on the mic. I go back and listen to early. He had some Scott the Rock stuff and Coke the Rock. He had everything. But that's a FBA brother out of New York taking care. And that's how we get down as a community. We take care of each other. We take care of each other. All that work DJ FaZe been doing to document, is no way hell I could have not shown up to that. No way. I didn't get to say as long as I wanted to because I was with people, and they actually, the people I was with, they didn't do it on purpose, but they got the times wrong. We had something, they had us doing something after. They had me doing something with them afterwards, but they got the times wrong, so I didn't get to stay there as long as I wanted to. I wish I could have stayed a couple more hours. but I was with people and it was it's a lot going on. I had because some other things I was going on, but for the time that I did spend there, man, that shit was so dope. So salute again to DJ Faze, Waverly, Big Wave for your hospitality in New York this past weekend in the Bronx. I appreciate y'all hospitality. I appreciate y'all for honoring and just the fact that y'all honor the heroes, the roots. You know? The fact that y'all honored Grand Wizard Theodore and DJ John Brown and Disco King Mario. That's how we got to get as a people. That's how we got to not just get, we got to stay as a people. We have to honor our greats. We have to honor our innovators and spread the knowledge. You don't honor and withhold, you honor and spread, you honor and teach. And because Wave did the work of recording those 80s hip hop jams, I'm going to be able to teach from a different level than I've ever been able to teach before. From actually hearing the music, because the way my brain operates and the way I operate best to hit through the music. Music talks to me. Music, for me personally, music says more to me than what you're actually hearing in the words. The words are the least important. They're the least important part of how I break down music. The feeling is the most important. What you're getting in the environment, you can feel through the audio. You can feel. That's why I go to so many concerts. That's why I'm at concerts sometimes 3 days a week. 3 to 4 days a week, I'm at somebody's concert. Because the music talks to you through the music, through the chords, through the melodies, through the beat. Drums are a language. And I, being a professional drummer, I know the language of drums, of American drums. American drums speak English, which is a different language than other drums around the world. And when those drums talk to me, I'm able to decipher and break down. A lot of stuff I get y'all is through research, but some of what I bring to y'all is also through channel. I channel a lot of information, but my channels come through music. I don't mention the channel as much because most people are thrown off when you say you channel. They don't get it. But for those of you who are tapped in, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So because of Wave, I can now channel more of 70s hip hop, the era that's not on record, early 80s hip hop. He's going to allow me to channel a time gone by that still exists through these audio files. Damn it. Gotta refill my lighters. But salute to Wave. What's up, Brooke? What's up, Dora? What's up, Jay? What's up, everybody that's up in here? Bruce. You said what, Rocky? Rocky right here. Rocky right here asleep. Rocky been with us this whole time. I picked him up earlier, but nah. Rocky right here asleep. Knocked out. Like he had a hard day's work. A lot of us don't know about 70s hip hop because if you weren't there, you couldn't, you know. But Wave just gave me recordings of it. Shit. My information is about to go way deeper than any of these niggas. Well, my competition ain't, let me take that back. My competition ain't other black people or other people telling them the story. My goal is to educate ourselves for ourselves. My education in music doesn't come for the approval of whites. It doesn't come so I'm smarter than the next Negro. I don't give a shit about the next nigga. I'm DeJuan Brown. I'm sorry, that may sound arrogant, but probably is. But I don't compete with other men. I compete with myself, and I become the best person I can be. I do what I do, so for those who care to understand deeper, hopefully I unlock something in your mind. Hopefully I push you to a new book, a new documentary, a new song, a new video. Hopefully when I speak, it pushes you to educate yourself further. I'm not the end all be all of education. I just have my point of view. And my competition is with myself to produce as much as I can in as little time I have on earth. We don't have much time on earth. So my job is to produce and put out as much information as I can. And Wave just helped me out with that a whole lot. Yeah, but yeah, so going back and so we can finish this off. This same podcast, this podcast is Auntie's podcast using Black American slang, based in the UK, staffed by British and Africans living in the UK, talking about Black Americans and our identity. They were talking bad about our identity on the same podcast that they said 77% of Nigerian women bleach their skin. You can't make this up. You cannot make this up. You go from an internal conversation about skin bleaching to Black men. I mean, to talk about being threatened in violence. You go from that to saying that we have an identity crisis. All I'm saying is to all the African podcasts, leave us alone. And I'm going to tell you right now, as long as y'all talk about us for clicks, I'm going to talk about y'all for clicks, period. Two can play the click game. Y'all want to get y'all numbers up by talking about Black Americans. Black Americans will get our numbers up talking about you. The difference is we're going to use, or at least me, I'm going to get my numbers up talking about you through education. I'm going to educate. And I'm going to use everything that y'all say about us as an opportunity to educate on what's real. So when y'all lie on Black Americans, I'm going to educate Black Americans on what y'all talking about. And as long as you got a 77% skin bleaching problem, there can be no Pan-Africanism. Not because we don't want there to be Pan-Africanism. Like I said, starting the show, Pan-Africanism is the most logical thing to do. It's very logical, and having us all be one around the diaspora is the most logical thing to do. And doing that will be the thing that ends this color-coded system that we're in. But there is no ending color-coded systems as long as you hate your color. The first thing that requires before you fight the other team is for you to at least want to be on my team. You can't fight the other team if you don't even want to be on your own team. If you were born looking like Kid, but now you look like Play, that's a problem. If you was in the club last week looking like Pam, and today you look like Gina, that's a problem. It's a problem. If you were born looking like Charles Oakley, now you look like John Starks, that's a problem. You dig what I'm saying? If you were born looking like Bam Adebayo, now you look like Jalen Brunson, that's a problem. You got to solve that problem before you talk about Black Americans. You got to ask yourself, why do I look like a container of Neapolitan ice cream? How did I go from black to pink to white? You got to solve that before you talk about us. All right? And being called, the minute Black Americans get wind that y'all Don't let a black American see y'all bleaching y'all skin. African booty scratcher, you will wish we'll call you an African booty scratcher after our ignorant asses get wind of y'all bleaching y'all skin. Black Americans talked about Michael Jackson for bleaching his skin, and we love him, and he got a disease. Our love for Michael Jackson and the fact that he has a disease that forced him to bleach his skin, that didn't stop black Americans from still talking shit. Because we some shit talking motherfuckers. All right, this week we're going to be back online. We're going to be back doing some readings this weekend on Patreon. No book club tonight on Weird Scenes in the Canyon. I'm just recovering from New York, and I have some readings to do tonight, so no Weird Scenes in the Canyon book review tonight. We'll start that back next week. And next Sunday, we're going to start back the Music University breaking down rhythm and blues, all right? All right. Y'all have a good one. We out.